Alright guys, well, this is a best of 9 King of the Hill format. It's between KillingSpree and FXO. Spawning here in the top right corner of Cloud Kingdom, it is none other than the Orange Protoss, the Panda Protoss, desRow.
His opponent spawning as the red Protoss representing KillingSpree. It is DeathEnd.
I really like the fact that this is a PvP, by the way. I don't know particularly if this is like DeathEnd's best matchup or what have you, but my favorite thing about the PvP matchup is of all the mirror matchups, it's got the most opportunities available to them. I mean, you take a look at Zerg versus Zerg, ZVZ, it's going to be Zerglings, it's going to be Banelings, and it's going to transition into Roaches, Infestors, Beetles, whatever, but I mean, it's so limited. Terran, tanks plus whatever you decide to pair with the tanks, right? PvP, you know, you got the option of just doing like some crazy 4-gate, 3-gate pressure, cannon rushing, all-inning in any variety of like with Immortals. You can do Phoenixes, Void Rays even. It's just, there's so many different things you can do. I love PvP, Baldy.
Yeah, it's one thing I remember when I was like questioning a few of the SEA guys, like what are the key things to pick up on in PvP and what's viable and whatnot, and they're like, well, literally all three tech choices are viable.
I do want to point out desRow's going for double gas, so he might be looking to go for some tech, and if DeathEnd scouts this, decides to 4-gate him, he might be in a good position to take desRow out, Baldy.
He's definitely going to scout it. They're both finished, so there's no way desRow's going to be able to do like a fake cancer or anything. Do see actually 3 harvests on both of them, so it'll be interesting what he decides for.
Okay, well, the double gas has been scouted. Now, here's the thing. desRow, for now, has a lot of workers in gas. You can take this out, just put 2 on each gas, and transition into his own sort of 4-gate, away from tech if he wants to. But, I mean, really, with the double gas, it's kind of screaming like, hey, I'm going to go for either tech or Dark Templar. Watch out, DeathEnd.
Yeah, we saw him doing some DTs earlier. So, we have the second gas now being taken from DeathEnd, so slightly later. And he's getting a second gateway himself. Wait and see. He really wants, I think desRow really wants to be able to get rid of this probe from DeathEnd in his base so he can start to kind of opt for what he's going for. The Zealot's about to pop out, so with that he should be able to shoo away the probe. Oh, gotta get nasty.
And I like this. DeathEnd, he's got some chrono saved up. I think he wants to use it on the Warp Gate, but he doesn't want desRow's there. He doesn't want to give away that that's what he's chronoing out. We'll have to see. I really want him to 4-gate desRow, though. Like, desRow has nothing at home right now. It's double gas. You want to catch your opponent off guard. This is how you do it. This is the best opportunity to do something all-in-y like a 4-gate. But
yeah.
Chrono going down on the Nexus, so I will eat my words as that's not going to happen.
Yeah, both of them going past 21, unfortunately. We're still going to have a desRow expanding soon. It's interesting.
If he does this, this has to get scouted by DeathEnd. If DeathEnd sees this and punishes desRow for it, he's going to be in a really nice position to take a win. But, I mean, right now desRow's got some sentries out. He's kind of looking for proxy pylons, but I don't know. This is ballsy. This is very risky, Baldy. I mean, there used to be a time last summer where it's pretty much you go expansion first, you'll lose the game just straight up every time. But
yeah,
now you can kind of get away with it. If this goes unattended for like just say 2 minutes even of mining, desRow's going to pull ahead leaps and bounds. But both players are going for the Robo facility.
Yeah, relatively similar timings based on the fact that desRow actually had his gas slightly earlier. But the fact to note that DeathEnd, like you're suggesting, you know, the fact that he hasn't gone expansion up yet, he's going to have quite a nice ability to do a little bit of a poke and prod here. Is he going to be able to get up without the force fields? Yep. He hasn't actually scouted just yet.
desRow, though, sneaking a probe back into DeathEnd's base. Oh, he's going to see that Robo Bay, Baldy. Oh, yeah, DeathEnd canceled it. I like that he canceled it. He doesn't want to give that away, not just yet. He can, of course, try and rebuild that shortly, but if desRow scouts that, you don't want him to scout that.
Yeah. Interesting, the pylon down the bottom right. We'll see if that comes into play anytime later in the game.
This is kind of a cheeky pylon. It's so far away from DeathEnd's base, there's nothing that's going to be an immediate threat. And DeathEnd rushing Colossus out. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's a really expensive investment, and, you know, a couple of mortals, which desRow looks like he'll have, can deal with Colossus.
Yeah, DeathEnd's definitely looking to do a lot of damage here, given the fact he's still on one base. It's going up to 4 total gates, so it's going to be that kind of 4-gate with Colossi support, but he's not going to hit for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't know, Baldy. I really don't like this out of DeathEnd. I mean, has he? I don't think he scouted the expansion yet. No. So I mean, he has no idea that desRow is happily mining from this right now. And like I said, all it takes is a couple of minutes of mining to just pull ahead of your opponent. Now
Yeah, we do
Colossus
have a
has been started.
dead pylon on the way, just below the natural or desRow. And that will be used as desRow's actually put a pylon on both ends of the map, interestingly enough, just because he can.
Yeah, it opens a lot of utility, and I want to point out the reason DeathEnd's patrolling like this, for anyone who's a little curious, he's trying to catch desRow's observer. He wants to snipe that observer off, but oh no, Baldy. He's moving out just in time to get intercepted. The probe sees kind of what's going on. desRow knows that DeathEnd is moving out, and now will he play super defensive or will he go for an offensive warp in and sneak it in? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, but the one thing
Now,
is, DeathEnd, desRow doesn't know about the Colossus. That's the only thing DeathEnd has going for him right now.
yeah, I'm not actually sure if desRow's observer actually saw whether there was an expansion out or not, so that could have been an important snipe if he didn't. But regardless, one of the unfortunately for DeathEnd, one of his
Can
that's
DeathEnd
actually
keep?
quite a big deal.
DeathEnd's going to keep desRow out of his base. desRow cannot retreat. He's going to be forced to take this fight, Baldy.
That's really
Oh,
nice,
but,
yeah.
Ooh, losing those sentries is pretty painful. Now the Colossus is here. It's going to be really nice. The Warpins are actually working very nicely for DeathEnd. He's going to trap desRow. desRow going to lose this Immortal right away. Without the Immortal, he can't really break the Stalker count of DeathEnd. desRow now also rushing to get his own Robo Bay out. But I mean, yeah, he loses the Immortal. DeathEnd with that Colossus just going to break the force fields. Massive unit, man. He doesn't care. I don't like that he's chasing, though. I would like for him to just turn around and go to desRow's base. Chasing like this is not, it's just, desRow's buying time, which is exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah,
Now look,
I mean,
now he's got his Colossus coming out. Sure, he's going to lose these Stalkers, but he's going to have a Colossus to fight with.
exactly. And we still have the one base from DeathEnd, so although he will kill off this force, you know, like you're saying, the longer he waits, the longer he's chasing this force. Yeah.
This is like the advanced retard magnet that Destiny invented with the Overlord, except it's 5 Stalkers. And desRow's actually established a pylon in the natural of DeathEnd, so he's going to be able to do some really nice kind of ninja warpins if he wants to, but DeathEnd chasing desRow like this is not good, Baldy. Because more importantly, desRow is going to have extended thermal lance, and I don't believe DeathEnd has even started that, no. So when it comes to Colossus Wars, desRow is going to have a whole shot off before DeathEnd does. Now the one thing is, DeathEnd has a huge army, but there's Immortals, there's a lot of Stalks, and I don't know, Baldy, I'm not liking this from DeathEnd. I think he spent way too much time chasing the Stalkers, and I think it's really going to hurt him.
We do see 4 Stalkers and 2 Zealots in the main. They're going to quickly unpower quite a lot here, as there's not really much. We do have 3 defensive Zealots now coming in, but they should be relatively ineffective in dealing with it. We do have now engagement. Actually, DeathEnd being able to hit before thermal lance extends have gone, but a lot of his Zealots are at the back here and not actually able to fight.
No, DeathEnd is not taking good losses here. But I mean, desRow, look how much damage he's doing in the main, Baldy. DeathEnd can't warp it offensively. He has to defend his base. Now, luckily, Colossus has popped out, but unfortunately, it might just go down to Stalkers.
Yeah,
in fact, it will.
Not very there. That's actually a pretty big deal.
And the fight outside
Back at
desRow's
the
base is not going much better.
desRow. Yeah, the Immortal's ripping through this DeathEnd's core side as well, so this is very quickly turning flip side. There's GG, and desRow continues his rampage, going through.